Hello, 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 everyone. It is noon on the dot. I'm starting on time. I have coffee. Everything is right in the world. I have cats. What could go wrong? I see we've got about 3 people here. Thank you so much for joining. It's great to see you. I'm always happy to have company while writing. I am still at my aunt and uncle's place, and this is my last weekend in Winterpeg. It is very much Winterpeg, although it's been on and off. I'm getting a bit of warmth going up to my flight home, which will be nice. And apparently winter truly hits right when I leave, so I'm dodging that. As always, let me know how sound is, how video is, how the quality is. We did have some issues my first stream here, but with the last stream, it was really good. So I think I did figure out what the problem was, and that was that I was running separate music and video, and now I've got timers that are like music and video combined, and that seemed to work really well last time. And I also updated my half-hour timer because I think it was the music. The music was bad. Everyone said they weren't bothered, but it was bothering me. And the music just sort of looped in a not very smooth way. So I found a timer for the half-hour one that matches the 15-minute and has the same just like nice, relaxing music. So I'm looking forward to that. Good morning, Bill. It's great to see you. I'm hoping that I can do those 2 half-hour sprints today because I haven't been able to do that. I think last time I messed up on the timing, and we're starting on time. We've got a few people here. I'm probably going to jump into things a lot faster than I did last week. In terms of what I'm working on, I am still doing the draft by hand and doing editing, but I'm also going to be doing a little bit of video editing, stuff that doesn't require sound, and doing some script writing because I do have a video to get out for tomorrow, and I have an extremely busy weekend. Today, like I said, it's my last weekend in Winnipeg, so last sort of chance at grabbing friends and family up. I'm going to be, after my stream, going for coffee with a couple of friends, whoever can make it, and then grabbing groceries with my cousin, and then we're doing dinner at my uncle's place. Then tomorrow I have lunch with an amazing author, Andrew Davidson. If anyone's heard of him, he wrote The Gargoyle. That's his only like full novel published, but he got like a big advance on it. It was a publishing dream when he put that out, and he inspired me a lot when I was younger for creativity, and we've kept in touch. So I'm going to be getting lunch with him, and that's going to be really cool. And seeing his Gargoyle Theater that he now owns in Winnipeg, just the best progression, publishing a book, then go on to own a theater and encouraging other people's creativity. My favorite kind of person, And after that, I am hopefully going to be able to have time to record another podcast episode. We just had one come out yesterday. I believe it's our 6th episode. So if you haven't checked out the Writing Craft podcast yet, please do. It's with myself and Jenna Streety, and we talk about writing and witchy things. So we're hopefully going to be doing some more of that tomorrow. I think I should be good. Welcome, Nadim. It's great to see you again. Good morning. And then tomorrow night is another family dinner, but like with more family members. Then Monday's my last full day here. I'm going to do an early Christmas tree trimming with my dad, since I haven't been able to do that with him for years. And then I'm on my 5 a.m. flight back to Montreal. If you weren't here last week, it's going to be an odyssey. I have to get there for like 2 or 3 in the morning. Flight leaves at 5. Goes to 8:30, so I'll be clocking in for work right when my plane lands. And then I have to get on a train and do a 5-hour train ride to Montreal because just the direct flight was really expensive. So I opted to do this, and it's going to be an entire experience, but I'm just going to make sure to get to bed early the night before, and I'm sure I can manage it. That is, c'est la vie when you are traveling. Alrighty, we're coming up on the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to get us going here. I'm going to add our timer to the stage. As always, it wants to start in right away. New, wait. Let's go with that. I think that looks good. What else was I going to say? Oh, just welcome to anyone else who is joining. Feel free to say hi. We do not bite. We're going to start with some 15-minute sprints. We're going to do an hour of those. Then we are going to do 2 half-hour sprints to wrap up the session. All right. Let me know, of course, what you are working on. I would love to hear. I'm editing my fantasy epic, so I'm going to be doing some of that, some script writing, a little bit of admin. What I usually do, I use these sessions to get a few different things done, and they are very, very helpful. So whether you are writing or whether you are just hanging out or doing general productive things, welcome, welcome. I am happy to have you here. We are going to start off with our first sprint, 15 minutes, and just, get things warmed up. Don't worry if you're not super productive in this first one. It's usually a little bit slow. So let us begin our 15-minute sprint, and I will talk to you all in 15 minutes. First one down. How'd everyone do? Hope that was all right. I almost finished my script for the video tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can record it before I go out for coffee, but I probably can't. I can record pretty quickly, but maybe not that quickly. I don't know. We'll see. But I did like 750 words, which is It's a script. It's easy. I write them like exactly the way I talk, including like little LOL and stuff like that, so that things come across as naturally as possible when I do my videos. And yeah, they're pretty easy, so I wouldn't call that any big accomplishment in 15 minutes. I agree. I love the background music on these timers. They are so nice. And I said I was going to give credit to the person who designed them last time. So I'm going to remember to do that. And I'm going to look it up right now, honestly. Because I just found them by doing a 15-minute timer, 30-minute timer. So they are by Better Timers. And yeah, it's just beautiful. I think it's very good for productivity. It's relaxing and no weird looping. Congrats on 248. That's a very strong start. For anyone who is dipping in and out, we're going to be at this for 2 hours. So if you want to get your stuff done, you should stick around. I keep seeing our little number going up and down. For anyone who's just joined, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be, like I just said, sprinting until 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to take a second here to just let you know that the Stygian Zine, we are still accepting submissions for our inaugural issue. So if you have a short story you'd like to get published, if you have a piece of art, a comic, all the guidelines can be found at stygiansociety.com/stygianzine. So you'll have all the info in there. And I've been adding more as people ask questions. I'm like, oh God, I should have written that. And if you don't get it in by the end of November, because I know this is a busy month, so if you don't already have something ready, you might not want to get that together. If you don't get it in for our January issue, we are going to be doing a July issue as well. So submissions are open all year round. There's just a cutoff for specific issues. And if we also don't accept you for the January one, we might still consider you for the July one. So you don't have to resubmit. We're going to just sort of keep everything all the time and take from the submissions. And if you are chosen, you're going to get a $20 little honorarium and a physical copy of the zine. And I'm looking forward to reading everything. I haven't read it yet. I'm just sort of gathering them up. I might read them on my breaks while I'm working on the train on Tuesday, but might mainly just wait until I'm back in Montreal and pay, and I can go through them along with my mother unit, our editor. 39K, awesome. I'm gonna be at I've just been doing par every day because I do 3.5 pages of editing, but I have been going over because this draft is like 300 something pages, I think. And if I just stick to 3.5, I'm not going to get it done. Although, what point am I at? I hit the 100-page mark when I was writing with Jen from Jen's Bookshelf this week. So I am at page 106 now. So I'm getting halfway there. I'm going to probably speed it up a little bit. So I'll be technically at 30K today, but it's going to be over 30K and just editing because we're rebelling it. All right. I keep seeing the number go up and down. I know that people want to sprint and they are not here for me blabbering so much. So I am trying to keep it a little bit shorter, but I like talking to you all. And I think it's nice to get a break because if you're sprinting and you just do sprint, 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 you're not really sprinting, you know? All right, this next one. So we're at 12:25. I'm switching between Central and Eastern, by the way, because I'm used to Eastern. So that's when I post my schedules for, but I'm currently in Central. So I'm an hour earlier. So if I say like 12:25, yeah, it's 1:25 Eastern. Alrighty. I am going to reset our timer here. And I think we'll be able to get 2 more 15-minute sprints in, and then we're going to do 2 half hours for those of you who appreciate the longer sprints. And next week, we might do maybe a whole bunch of short ones, something like that, switch it up. Alrighty. If we are ready to jump back in, I am ready to wrap up my script and then work on this a little bit. Hopefully I don't get distracted, because that definitely does happen. Alrighty. Ready to go, and let's jump into another 15-minute. I will see you in 15 minutes. And that's our second sprint down. How'd everyone do? I finished up a chapter and just started on a new one, finished my script, so that's all good to go. And if anyone saw Alan stop by here, hello to Alan, and also hello to Pei. It's great to see you both. I am going to do a little tarot pull for my day because I haven't done one. And it's always a good thing I haven't had my hands on my cards nearly enough since I've been in Winnipeg. So maybe they'll, let's see if they still like me. Let's see if they still are behaving. Oh, that's a good question, Nadim. From what I have heard, around like 25,000 could be a novella, like 25 to 40,000. Because for me, I found it's about like 50 to 70 for a like full novel. So if you're thinking like 25 to 40, that is novella length. And then if you are writing epic fantasies like I am doing right now, you might wind up at like 120,000. Alrighty. Just cutting my cards. I use the Hermetic Tarot deck if anyone is looking for a pretty deck. And what do we have? We have the Knight of Pentacles today. This is my pull. I'm still getting used to like remembering all of the cards, so a lot of the time I have to look them up, unfortunately, but I'll get there eventually. I was getting all right with it when I was doing a pull all the time for Haunted Montreal, but I'm not doing that anymore. So what do we have with this? So based on like the Rider-Waite deck, this is sort of a hard work, productivity, routine sort of card, which, I mean, that's what I've got going on right now. I am definitely getting through November with a lot of productivity, which is great. And 85 words, always good, especially if you're making investments and going through a variety of different things you have to do for your book. Yeah, I love the design of these cards so much. They're great. I had my first deck was a Druidic tarot deck from my parents, and it started behaving very badly one day. And then I realized that when my cat knocked it over at one point, he had actually, like, cards went missing. So I was working with a deck that was not full, and that's why it was misbehaving. So I had to get a new one, and this one really called to me. Yeah. Money coming my way would also be nice. I would not say no to that. Maybe my productivity will yield some financial gains. Although I just put it into Stygian because that's what I do. So let's all hope for some financial gains for Stygian to do more with the company. That's all I want right now. All right, what time are we at? We are at 12:45, which is actually quite perfect. Hello to anyone who has just joined, who I didn't call out, and hello to Andrea. And I think we've got like 8 or 9 people hanging around, so feel free to say hello in the chat. Everyone is very nice. We don't bite, even though we are, some of us might be vampires. Hello, Zith. How's it going? Nice to see you. I am doing very well today. I'm caffeinated. I'm productive. I am in Winnipeg. That part's I'm with friends and family. That's the good part. Alan, I think you know about the cards, know more about the cards than I do at this point. I use them a lot. They speak to me very well. I love my deck, but I need to study a bit more. I'm going to be doing more of that over the next year through my traveling journeys. Lots of stuff to do over the next year, including learning German. So, hey, and I figured out that is one of our plans for the next year while I'm away. I started and I need to get back to it. Alrighty, so if everyone is ready, we are going to do our last 15-minute sprint, and we had some requests for longer sprints, so I'm going to do 2 half-hour at the end, where I'm traveling as many places as possible. I am taking the year to go and do that because I'm very lucky to have a job right now that allows me to be fully remote and not just like remote in the same city. They actually encourage traveling. And I am lucky enough to have a partner who has upended his living situation so that I can put my stuff in storage and go traveling. So I'm going back to Montreal after Winnipeg, and then I'm going to California for a Christmas party for work and to hang out with my podcast partner. And then I think the first spot I go after the holidays, like mid-January, will probably be Cuba. I'm really leaning towards that, and I think that's going to be great. I have not been in, like, the last time I was in this like southern area, I think it was, well, I was in LA, and that was not a good time, but I used to enjoy going to San Diego all the time when I was a kid. Maybe I'll get back there. One of my main things is I want to meet all of the Stygian authors, so I'm looking at those locations as sort of points to get to. After going south, I'm going to work my way back up along the East Coast, because we have a lot of authors there, back to Montreal, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, before I go off across the ocean, probably like April-ish, something like that. So lots and lots of traveling. It's not a simple answer when I'm asked that question. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got our timer ready to go. If everyone is ready for the last 15 minutes, I'm going to get it started, and I will talk to you all in 15 minutes. All right, and that brings us to the end of our 15-minute sprints. Next up, we're going to have 2 half-hour sprints to wrap up the day. So get ready for our longer session. Everyone, let me know how you're doing so far. I think we've had a pretty good warm-up in this first hour. Again, I'm not going to talk too long in this one because I do have stuff to do in the afternoon. Like, I keep visiting friends and family. I have a million things to do. So I am going to start right away. But if you want to grab some water, grab a coffee, go to the washroom, get ready for our longer session, feel free to take a minute to do that. And if you step in and we're a couple minutes in, I don't think that'll be a big problem. We've got two nice long sprints ahead of us to get quite a bit done during that time. Welcome to anyone who is new. Hello, hello, hello. We're sprinting. We've got an hour left. We're going to do 2 long sprints. Let me just add our different timer to the stage here. As you see now, we've got one that's pretty much, it's the same as the last one. So the music is going to be good. The looping isn't going to be annoying or anything like that. Yeah, I got another chapter done. So I'm definitely going over my 3.5 pages for today, but I'm still going to just count it as par because that's how I am doing this. Basically, if I write more than 3.5 pages, it's par. We're good. I'm sorry that one wasn't too productive. Hopefully the longer ones will help you sort of zone into what you want to get done today a bit more. The alarm I find is it's not as bad as some of the other ones. We had a very abrasive one when we were doing Preptober sprints. I don't know if you heard that one. It was definitely like big haunted spooky sounds. And I was like, it made me jump. Editing is good though. Glad you're getting some stuff done. Alrighty, I'm gonna jump into this so we don't go too far past our time here. So if everyone is ready, I will talk to you in half an hour. All right. Our half hour is down. Like I said before, I'm not going to talk long in this one because we need to get going because I have coffee with friends and I have to do a little bit of filming after this stream and I don't want to make everything run too late. Let me know how you did. I got another couple chapters in during that time and set up some, I probably should not set up those downloads, so I'm actually going to pause those. I don't want to mess with the stream. Downloading some podcast stuff for our next episode so I can get it edited. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch. You can also listen on Spotify. It's the Writing Craft podcast with myself and Jenna Streety. And thank you, Sheraton, for linking. I see you all had an awesome little conversation about tarot and oracle decks. Very cool. I have not, as I was saying, I haven't experimented with oracle decks at all, but it's something I would like to get into at some point. And if anyone, aside from Alan, did want the deck that I have, that Hermetic Tarot deck, I did link it, and apparently it's 20% off on Amazon.com. So that's awesome. Alrighty, so let me know how you all did. If maybe that one was a little bit better than the 15 minutes. Marcella, I don't know if you got to be a bit more productive this time. I hope that you could. And also hello to Angela. Thanks for stopping by. I guess you have just been heading out, but it was good to see you. Creative blessings to you as well. I am going to get ready to do this final half hour. So we get one more long sprint, and hopefully within these 2 hours, you've got a good chunk of your writing done for the day. I'm going to reset our timer here. Like with before, if you need a couple minutes to grab a coffee or something, feel free to do that. Don't worry about getting that exact 30 minutes in. I know I'm not giving you that big of a break since I'm in a rush here. I'm glad to hear that you're making real progress, Andrea. That's always a good thing. I'm almost halfway through at this point, so that's pretty awesome. I'm getting there. I need to do this first run through this month, and then it will just continue on from there. Alrighty. So I will be in the chat a little bit while we do this 30-minute, as I always am. So if you say something and I've started our timer, don't worry about it. Alrighty. We're going to get into our next half hour of sprinting, and I hope that you all get a lot done this time around. Let's power through. Let's get those words in. We are more than halfway through NaNoWriMo, so get those words. You can do it. I believe in you. And I will talk to you in half an hour. And we're done. How'd everyone do? We're a bit after 2, so I'm gonna have to rush with my filming that I have to do. If you saw me standing up, I was getting my camera ready to go. So, yeah, I hope everyone did well. I'm up to page, where am I at now? I think I said I was at like 105 before, and now I'm at 111. So, doing well. Not doing the normal word count because I'm editing, so it goes much faster. If I was writing fresh, it would be a very different story. I hope that you all did well. I see some people are already drifting off. Get to say goodbye to a couple people who stopped in. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I hope that this was helpful, productive as always. Remember, I do have a video coming out tomorrow, which is going to have a check-in and some more nostalgia vlogging. Even if you don't like vlogging, maybe just give it a little shot. I tried to get some pretty footage. I am trying to get better at sort of documentary style vlogging, which I want to be able to do over the next year while I travel and, you know, make it pretty and not kind of that annoying kind of vlogging, if you know what I mean. So I'm glad that you were able to advance a bit, even though you got a slow start, Sheraton. And I am so happy that this was your first sprint, Andrea. I appreciate you joining, and I'm so glad you chose me. And congrats on the words, Marcella. For anyone who wants to continue sprinting, I unfortunately will not be doing sprints this Tuesday because I'm traveling all day. But if you want to like start them anyway, go for it. Feel free to. I don't have to be there for you to sprint. I will be back next Saturday and then also on November 30th to do a wrapping NaNoWriMo stream. Get our last word counts in. I'll be starting that one at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I don't know how long it will go. 2 hours at least, but if we're really feeling it and if I still have some more work to do, it might go later because I made sure to take December 1st off so I can just be all NaNoWriMo on the 30th. So thank you again for stopping by. Hopefully, whoa, as I just disappear. Hopefully see you all next Saturday. See you on the Discord server. See you at my video tomorrow. Check out my podcast, all of those good things. And I hope that you all are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Goodbye.